Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. So today we are going to discuss about knowledge flow through citation. How exactly the knowledge starts flowing from a particular paper to the next paper and to the to the researcher who are looking for these papers in a particular field. And after reading all these papers, okay, a researcher is trying to do something new and trying to find whether something is being done or not. That has to be very clear in review of literature. When I am going to do the review of literature, or when you want to do a review of literature, what you do, the first thing is you will search for a paper and you read the papers which are related to your field based on the title and the keywords, and then you are going to take those papers into account, and then you are going to review it thoroughly. And once you review, you will come to know whatever the things you want to include in your paper, that will include, or else you will leave it. So these are the things which we follow as a researcher. And now after reading, out of 100 papers, 50 papers I got more relevant to my research. So I am citing all the 50 papers in my research article. When I cite in the end, so I will be putting around out of 50 papers, all the 50 paper reference I will list in my paper. I complete my research and I will publish this particular paper in a particular journal. When I publish that paper, what happens? Now the knowledge has transferred from all these particular papers which I have listed, 50 papers, and all that knowledge is transferred to my paper. And from my paper, now the next person who is going to read my paper, he is getting that knowledge. This is how the knowledge is transferring. Similarly, within the authors also knowledge transfer to occur. Imagine you are in a particular organization or a college or a research institute or research center. When you publish a particular work, you will be having co-authors. Imagine there are 5 authors in your paper. So you being the first author, you are transferring your knowledge to the second author, third author, fourth author and fifth author. And these all 4 authors along with you, even they have contributed something to your work. So the second author, the third author, the fourth author, the fifth author, these all 4 other authors apart from you also contributed their knowledge in their respective field in regards to your particular research. Now these 4 people, whatever the knowledge they have transferred from their interest or their area of interest to your research or your group research, it's a collective information. So now you are getting the knowledge from the second author, the third author, fourth author and the fifth author. Now imagine any one of your co-authors, maybe the third author is writing another paper, he is doing another research, but he is already known about the first research or first paper. So he gets little bit information from here and he uses that in his research, whereas he publishes the work as a first author. So now the knowledge not only just transferred through your paper, but just because you guys were co-authors, it transferred to him also. Now the third author who was there in your group or a particular paper, imagine he is from different research center or different college or different university. So the knowledge transfer is not only happening in between the authors, but also it is happening between the universities or research centers, or if you are from different countries, then among the different 2 countries or 2 different universities or institutes, the knowledge is being transferred. How? Because the co-author of one of the research article is from the different country, different university or different institute or different research center. So now the knowledge is transferring from you to him, and from him to the paper which is affiliated to the different university, and the knowledge is transferring to whole university. This is what we call it as a knowledge flow through citation. So I cited 50 work, so I got, that means I got knowledge of 50 paper transferred to my paper. Now since the co-author was in my paper, he got little bit information my paper from my paper, so definitely when he is doing research he will cite my paper also, where he is a co-author. For him it is a self citation that is allowed if the topics are relevant, and when he publishes the work, definitely I am getting citation. Why? Because the knowledge is transferring through the citation here. This is what they are trying to make as a conclusion. When I cite some particular work, when my co-author cites some particular work of a different institution, so that means he is, if my work, if the 50 papers I have cited, that means I have gained all the 50 papers, not complete knowledge, or maybe little information from these all 50 papers, and I have gathered it. So knowledge have flowed from the 50 papers to my paper, where the another co-author is there, he publishes his work which includes citation to my paper. So whatever the knowledge was transferred to in my article will be transferred to that particular paper also. So this is how citation itself means the knowledge transfer from particular paper. So that's what this whole topic is about. Those who are good at English, and this whatever the introduction I have given, this is sufficient for you to write this particular paper and the topic, answer for this particular topic. Those who actually wants to go for some examples and based on the textbook which has been mentioned in your syllabus, and who wants to score out of out, then stay tuned and listen to the whole topics, because there are some examples are there which I will be giving and which is mentioned in the references textbooks which is listed in your syllabus. So let's start with the basic information. Whatever has to be shared I had already shared. Now point by point we will discuss. So knowledge flow through various channels such as verbal communications. So usually the knowledge it transfer from with lot of modes. The first, it can be verbal communication. When I am talking to the third author or a second author or a fourth author, so I am going to tell him that okay, I have synthesized cellular nanoparticles by penicillium species, bacillus species, so and all species, but I am not seen any much work on this particular paper, on this particular area. So why can't we start working on it? So this is how it starts. So this is called as verbal communication. And from here the knowledge transfers, because I have bit knowledge about my particular area of research. So I am going to talk to the person who is comparatively related to my field, or maybe if I am having the nanotechnology application in electronics, I am going to talk to a friend who is in electronics department. So I speak to him and I tell him that nanoparticles can be used for sensors in order to increase the efficiency, or nanoparticles can be used in solar cells in order to increase the efficiency. So that's how he gets the information from me. Maybe he might be having already, that is a possibility, but what paper I have published he might not be exposed. I am going to explain him, I am going to tell him, I am going to convince him this particular thing can happen. So that is called as verbal communication, where the knowledge transfer do occur most of the time through the verbal communication, and highly effective. And through the books, usually we read the books. In the end, in the conclusion or in future perspective will be mentioned, in that will be mentioned so and so work has been done in this particular area. Instead of going for review of literature, in the recent book you take and any book chapter of your interest you read, and that book chapter in the end it mentions that in this particular area so and so studies have been done, and so studies are still need to be done, because these are the lot of challenges, these are the challenges need to be answered, or these are the challenges which need to be solved. So these are the things which will give us an idea, or the knowledge from that particular books, maybe the documents, maybe the videos, okay, or audios or images, anything which will give you bit of piece of information is nothing but knowledge flow. Okay, that these all things playing a vital role in fostering creation of the new knowledge. So in engineering research, the knowledge dissemination occurs predominantly through the books, theses, articles, patents and reports. So knowledge flow through, how it happens generally is explained here. Now in engineering, how exactly the knowledge transfer can happen. There are many ways, but in engineering a bit more authentic rather than audios and videos or documents or documentaries or all those things. It will be more focused on the articles, theses, okay, PhD thesis, master thesis, okay, postdoc thesis. So patents. Why theses are so important? Books I explained you. Theses are very important because imagine the person who is dedicating his 4 to 5 years or maximum 7 years or 10 years of his work in his PhD or postdoc, okay, and he is mastering in the, not only mastering, that is for masters, but in PhD he is going to be the philosophy, doctor of philosophy in that particular area. That means he digged each and every corner of that particular topic and he found out these are the applications and these are the challenges. And no one can have more knowledge about than this particular guy, because he has not only done the review of literature, he has not only done the the surface work, he has vertically he has gone, he has done each and every corner study, and finally he has published his work. When these things are happening, so definitely he mentions his challenges, what are the challenges he is finding in his research work, or in future what are the things can be improved, that will be mentioned in that particular thesis. So now just reading the thesis, will you get that knowledge or not? So with the knowledge, whatever the completely it is given in the thesis is now can be extended. Now that extension work you can do, right? Because he is openly he will be mentioning that these are the challenges, these need to be answered, or he will mention that there are the challenges and we are on it, anything. So in research is nothing, no one's owns the research. You can start your work, and if you get the work done before him, definitely you will get your papers credited. So in the articles, research articles, we have been telling this about articles since first module to the second module, all those things, and then finally the patents. So patents, we will in detail we will explain in the module 3 what are patents and how these patents do affect our socio-economical aspects of any country. All these things play a very important role, but patents also are the one where the knowledge transfer do happen. And then the reports, okay. So then the proper citation is essential in transferring knowledge from prior work to the innovation. As I told you, knowledge flows through the citation. So citation has to be proper. Imagine I have cited particular work, but that is not been available in any online anywhere. So definitely I will be the last one to cite that paper, because the others will not find that paper in any search engine if it is not properly cited. That's why the proper citation plays a very important role. Next, knowledge flow happens between co-authors. As I told you in the introduction, it can happen between the co-authors, or maybe the research collaborations. For example, imagine I will be having collaboration with some other research center which is situated or a part of a different university, then there is a collaboration, right? So the knowledge is flowing from this research center to that research center, and we are having MOUs also, that is memorandum of understanding. That means what we do here and what you do in your lab, we are in agreement that we know each other. So among other researchers, through their publications, their paper citation work also can be done. So the knowledge, this is how it looks. So some person, as I given an example in the introduction, 50 papers I have read and I have included in my paper as a reference. Now I got the knowledge from the different researchers whom I don't even know. Understanding? So it's not only happening between the co-authors, not only through the collaboration, but also among other researchers through their paper citation work, and also between the institutions, explained departments, explained and research fields or topics or elements of research. This is well-known fact that we discussed in review of literature. Next, figure 1 shows the relationship between the citations, knowledge flow, elements. These are the three major things: citation, knowledge flow and elements, such as researchers, papers, journal publications or conferences and institutions. These all place as elements. Now, if A is cited by a paper B, if paper A is cited by paper B, now I imagine I am B. Whatever the paper I have published is B. Now, what I have cited? I have cited your paper, that is already published long back. So, yours is paper 1, mine is paper 2, or yours is paper A, mine is paper B. Then the knowledge flow through the citation networks across institution is depicted in this figure. Now, the institute, imagine you belong to the institution 1, I belong to the institution another one. Now, so yours is a paper A, right? So, you belong to the institution 1, I belong to the institution 2. Your paper is paper A, my paper is paper B. So, I have cited your paper. Now, in this scenario, how exactly the knowledge transfers? This is what we are going to explain in this particular citation based knowledge flow. So, you belong to the institution 1, just write one box and put it in institution 1. The second, I belong to this institution 2, I will put institution 2. So, you published a paper A, it has got paper, around 3 authors, imagine. So, that is K, R, U. Okay. So, imagine you are K, maybe Karthik or something. Okay. So, there are 3 members in the paper. Now, institution 2 in my paper, in my listing. So, imagine I am the guy who is T and author I. So, there are 2 authors. Now, I have got the paper, I have cited your paper to this. Okay. Now, tell me, we have studied that knowledge transfer do occur among the authors. So, from K to R, the knowledge transfer had happened, right? So, you can see these arrow marks, and from author R to author K also knowledge transfer do occur. Similarly with R and U, similarly with A, K and U. Okay, this is reversible. Now, because of all these 3 people's effort, okay, author K contributed, author R contributed, author U contributed. Then only the paper A came out and it got published in a journal X, maybe any kind of journal, and the topic with the topic research topic 1. Now, the knowledge transfer, since this particular paper A being cited by B, the knowledge transfer directly happens from institution 1 to institution 2. That means, whatever in your institute work was done is now even I know. Just because I know means, it means that it came to my institute. No, the knowledge is, if I am working on it, that means I have got some ideas from you, I have got some some thoughts which is related to you. So, the knowledge is transferred from your institute to my institute. So, now imagine there is a author R. Okay. So, only I am, okay, what you say, I know only this author R from your institute. In your institute, I know your colleague. I don't know you, but I know your colleague, that is R. Now, that person paper I will read, I have downloaded and I have read, but he is the co-author of your paper A. So, definitely the knowledge transferred, whatever was here, transferred from R, okay, then to this author. It can be possible that I will read his paper, it may be my co-author will read his paper. Similarly, author K also, I can read the author K ka papers, okay, or author I can read this particular paper. Same thing goes for author U. Okay. Now, speaking of the knowledge transfer in an institute, 2 authors are there, 2 authors will contribute and they will write a paper, me and my co-author, and that is my paper B. And I publish, you will get citation, right? Now, I have cited your work. So, I have published in journal Y. I can publish in same journal also, no problem, but in order to differentiate, I have used the journal Y here. So my topic will not be definitely exactly equal to your topic, definitely it will be changed. So now that is research topic 2. See, this is how the knowledge transfer to occur. So institution to institution it transferred, authors to authors it transferred, paper to paper it transferred, journal to journal it transferred, and finally the research topic 1, whatever the things I have read here, definitely it will correlate with the research topic 2. Not exactly same, but somehow they both belong to the same area of research. That's why I cited your paper. So that is called as knowledge flow. So here this is how it works, and this whatever the dark things are there, that research elements relationship flow. So contribution, all those things and all. So this is how the knowledge transfer do occur. Same thing is examined by the many people, and that one of the guy who is Suryamurthy, he examined the citation impact of South African publications among different collaboration types, disciplines and sectors. He observed that the co-authored publications had more citations than a single author paper. If I have one paper wherein only I am the author, then the chances of citation will be less when there are more number of authors in my paper, because more number of the authors, more visibility, more the citation. Okay, that's how things work. And there was a positive correlation between the number of authors and the citation numbers. Okay, so figure 2. Now one more example we will see that shows the relationship between the co-authorship and different types of citation. How the different types of citation do work. Imagine there are 3 articles X, Y, Z and 5 references. That means they have referred 5 articles, that is X1, X2, X3 as X candidates, 3 as Y candidates. We are having Y1 and Y2 of the article X and Y. So there are 3 articles now, 1, 2, 3 are there. Now the references, what? For X we are having 3 references, X1, X2, X3. For Y we are having Y2 and Y1 and Y2. Okay. Now A, B, C are the authors. Don't get confused. X, Y, Z are the articles. 1, 2, 3 are the references, whereas A, B, C are the authors of the articles X. Okay, A, B, C articles X, whereas D, E, F, G and also A are the authors of Y. Now the article Z has 2 authors, that is H and E. Okay, which only in the Y this thing it is there. Okay, so references X1, X2, X3 for X article, Y1 and Y2 for Y article, and authors like we are having A comma P, that is we are having for the authors of X and the one any other this thing, and next we are having H of R, then D, Q of B, F and R respectively. So we are whatever the references are there in this particular, these are again the papers X1, X2, X3, X, Y1 and Y2. So for X1 we are having A comma P, that means A is common which is published for X, okay, but he is also a co-author of X1, understanding. Similarly for X2 H of R, okay. So for Y, what are these things here? Okay, D, E, F, G. So here both are not there, so there is no co-author. Next D. D is nothing but this fellow has published work and he is also part of Y. Next Q, B, F. Here B is there in X, F is there in Y. So these 2 authors are written or a part of Y1, and whereas Y2 is just R, who is not at all a co-author of anyone. Okay, so these are the authors. A and P are the author of X1, HR are the X2 author of X2, D is the author of X3, Q, P, F are the 3 authors of Y1, and R is the only alone author for single author for Y2. Okay. Now how exactly the knowledge transfer through occurs? So how many articles? X, Y, Z initially. Now how many references? Totally 5 references. For article 1, what are the authors that is x1, x2, x3, y1, y2 are the authors. Now what are the articles? Okay, x, y, z. How many authors for x? Okay, here a, for x it is a, b, c are the authors of x, right? How many authors for the y? Okay, it is e, d, f, g, right? d, e, f, g, d, e, f, g. Now what are the author of the z? That is not explained yet, but here it is mentioned that for the z has got the authors, that is h and I. So h you keep it here, h and e, sorry, e is already here. So now ABC for x, ABC, you just draw a circle ABC, here draw a circle for y, DEF, draw a circle, put it as a article Z, only H, because E is a co-author. This is nothing but co-authorship across. So article Z has and article Y has got one co-author, that is E, whereas article X and Y has got one co-author who is in common, that is A, not A, sorry, wait, article and A, B, C, whereas D, E, F. Yeah, so he is not a co-author, so there is no direct correlation here, just that knowledge transfer that we will see later how it comes. Okay, that is x1 and x2 it comes. Next, co-authorship across references. Okay, see now since these are the two co-authorship, this is referenced by HR, that is how many articles now, how many references? 5 references, x1, x2, x3, y1, y2. That means these are the 5 articles also. Now in x1 we are having what are the author, this thing A and P. So here this is the information has transferred from A to P, right? See what is the x1 authorship? It is A comma P. That means the knowledge transferred from this author to P. So that's why these two people are able to publish this x1. Okay. Then he is citing that x1 in his article X, that is called as self citation. Now similarly goes for the x2. What are the authors of the x2? For x2 we are having H and R. So H, so can you see this arrow mark, H and R, R is already here. So these are the two authors for this paper, but the knowledge has been transferred from Y2. Why? Because who is the author of Y2 is R. So here R is a common author for Y2 and X2, right? Like A is common author for X and X1. Similarly, the R is a common author for Y2 and Y. So knowledge has transferred to from Y to X1 also. Okay, and next, because he has already published as a single author here, but here two authors. So see, H, R might have shared this information with H. So that's how the knowledge transferred from Y2 to the X2, from X2 to the X. So that's how the things citation do work. Okay, and finally X3. X3 has got only one author, that is T, right? T. So next we are having the Y2. Y2 has got Q and B. See, Y2 has got Q, B, F. So Q is there, okay, and B is there, and F. These are the three authors of Y2, and that's how the knowledge transfer from F to Q1 or B to Q1. Okay, next finally we are having Y2. Y2 is discussed, done. So that's how the knowledge transfer do occurs. Okay, I hope you understood. So based on the co-authorship citation network, references X and Y1 are considered to be self-citation. Definitely X1 is a self-citation for X and Y1 is a self-citation, because author A is there, author A has got X1, author B has got Y1. So his already paper X1 is published, so Y1 is already been published, but they have included these two papers in X. So that means the A is citation, is a self-citation, he is citing his own work, he is also, B is also citing his own work. So X1 and Y1 are considered self-citation. References X3 is a level 1 co-author citation, because the author of the Y is direct collaborator of the author A. He is a direct collaborator of author A. So he is a direct collaborator here. Okay, and next reference x is 11, that is done, is a collaborator of E who is collaborated with H. Okay, from here to here to here. We conclude that the papers will frequently cite collaborations will also often cite collaborators of collaborators, right? So he has collaborated with this guy has collaborated with this guy, and this guy has collaborated with this guy, and that's how it went to the R, right? So that's how these things work. So collaboration certainly, so it's like frequently cite, they will keep on citing the collaborators, they will cite the collaborators and their collaborators. Imagine you collaborate with me, you cite my work, okay, and then I collaborate with another person, then you also end up with citing his work also. So collaboration certainly impacts the citation accounts. So more the citation, more the collaboration, more the collaboration, more the citations. So next, under this topic only, that is what do you say, the knowledge flow through transfer through the citation, we are having many other small that is citing data sheets, okay, and style of citations. Under citation only is all these things will come, ASME style, all these things that we will discuss in the next class. That means the two things comes under this, citing data sets and styles for citations, that we will discuss in the next class.